Principles. This is Practical Prince. We're doing Talk and Tarot instead of our normal tarot time session. So we'll be waiting for questions from you and we'll do live readings. But before we get into it, I want to make an announcement. The software I use, Restream, is going to start limiting how many channels I can stream to, how many platforms I can hit at the same time. Right now, there's at least 3 that we can actively communicate with: YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and the max is now 2, so that gets a little awkward. So I'd like your feedback before I figure out and decide what I'm doing. I could just stop streaming, pretty straightforward. I could try juggling, leaving one channel, one platform out every other session. Just do a rotation like that, or something else. I mean, like, I could pay for a plan, but I don't make money off this, so we want to keep it free. But maybe you guys know something, perhaps another software solution. Anyways, just want your feedback. We'll go ahead and start with this question from Lavina, which we got ahead of time. I'll start this ticker just to remind those who do join us that I want that feedback, so please send it my way. For Lavina, she's asking about a move to Canada, whether or not she should, and if so, is that before, after marriage, or are they just totally unrelated things? So let's go ahead and find a deck. Okay. Looks like we're using the Midnight edition of Lucid. Do we have extra information? Maybe. Can't quite tell. This is definitely answering the first question about the move to Canada. I don't know if we need a follow-up or if the answer about how it relates to marriage will also be in there. Hey, Serenity. How's it going? Okay. Give me one moment to finish Livy. We've got Two of Swords, Death, and Two of Pentacles. Wow. Death obviously would put a damper on that. Let me check the Two of Swords. A lot of swords would be no's. Okay. But yeah, the Two of Swords, like other twos, is related to decisions. This one is trumping and saying, I don't know. That's really what that boils down to. So yeah, as far as going to Canada, we don't really have any inclination, any inkling of what lies down that route. Obviously, we don't know what lies staying where you are either. And then this is carrying through to the question about marriage. So where Canada is a whole unknown, obviously we don't know how marriage relates to it. So that's the answer. If you want the simple, it would just be that, saying shrug. So yeah. Okay. Now surrender. Okay. Just give that a shuffle. Now let's find what deck we're using for you. Okay. We'll be using the Prisma Visions. All right, let's see what we get. It's really small for me, so I can't quite tell what's happening in it. I'll probably check it later now that my interest is perked, but it's all good. I wouldn't worry about it. I'll figure out the later. Okay. I think that might be everything. Let me check. Okay, we've got all our cards. Okay, this is the big thing to be aware of and that you might want to take action on. These feel just like FYIs. I don't know how much it'll change how you approach it, but yeah. And then this one's just a light FYI. I mean, yeah. Anyways, big one. Nine of Pentacles, FYI, the world, and lighter Page of Chalices. Okay. Let me go ahead and read Nine of Pentacles, since that's the only big one. We've got the guide, so. Christmas, yeah. Because 9 is pretty good, but I'm thinking of the 10, so. Reward, luxuries, financial independence. Those are the keywords associated with this card in this guide. The Nine of Pentacles is its own reward. After sacrificing and devoting yourself to a single purpose, your dedication has paid off. You're now well established in whatever it is that you set out to do. And I'll clarify that this does feel a bit in the future, not too far future, but it's not the present is really what I'm getting at. And you can afford the luxuries that come with a life of success. Enjoy it. There will come a time when you are tested and tried. Retain your sense of propriety and discipline, and you will be well prepared when this time befalls you. So basically, doing well and continuing to do well, as long as you stay a good steward of it. And these cards, they really just help along that. The world deals with wholeness, being a complete person, not perfectionist per se, just balanced. And then Page of Chalice, that's just being open to, emotionally open to, what would be the right word? Experience, that's a bit vague though. In terms of career and whatnot, it's okay to experiment a bit. Like some people will be scared. This suggests that it's all right to try things. Do your due diligence, of course, but yeah. Again, those were the light things. In general, it's going well. So, congrats. No problem. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, good enough. All right. We've pulled out a few decks, but I can go ahead and shuffle. Anyone who's interested, feel free to drop your questions in or just chat if you'd like. It is talk and tarot, so we're good with all of that. And two more. There we go. Last one, the Twilight version of Lucine. Just feels like it's bending a little. Sure. Uh, Go ahead and ask your question, or if you're just interested in a general reading, um, that's fine too. Just let me know. You're good. We've got time. Doom. Um, well, so I guess there's a few aspects, and I'm curious what you're more interested in, like the timing of such relationships, or like the quality of them, maybe both. Um, I'm guessing we won't be able to get too many. Um, don't know if you have a dozen or more relationships coming, but after a certain point where, well, there's cascade effects, and so it gets hard to see what stuff is like after a certain point. Um, but I guess any particular thing there, or just okay, get as much as we can. All right. Okay. Let me pick our deck. Looks like we're using Cosmo. This one has different names than a usual tarot, sometimes slightly different interpretations, usually related, but we might need to pull out the book for this depending on what we draw. Thank you. I do what I can. Let's see. think that might be all our cards. Let me check. We're not getting some of the finer detail, but these are the highlights they want. It is left to right, yeah, okay. And then I'll talk about that later, because that used to be more what I did. Okay, so we do have. No, we can separate that out. Okay. All right. Okay, let me see if I can get a better sense of time. Okay. Let me get a better feel for the gap. Okay. Okay, interesting. Do I have a feel for? Okay. Relatively short relation. I'm expecting this to start 4 months to year in the future. You might meet the person before then, but as far as like dating, um, that's the time frame of it starting. I don't know how long it lasts. After that, you've got 2 to 3 years, a lull basically, nothing super serious. Then we get this person. These cards focus more on the person. These more so on the outcome. Um, this feels more definite as far as where it is in time. I'm not exactly sure how far out it is, though. It just feels like if these take longer, there's just less of a wait before this one kicks in and happens. If these were to go quicker, well, you still have X amount of time before this one starts happening. So that's what we've got as far as timing, people, and outcome. So the romantic, 4 of trees, 4 of birds, 9 of lotuses, and 10 of embers. Okay. Romantic, I'll need a double check. I can't remember if this is the Page of Cups or the Knight of Cups. And I'll do a quick skim, just because I don't think this is the normal. Romantic isn't necessarily the meaning. Just let's put that there. 4 of trees, this deals with hardship, basically. Not like 4 of trees, it's 4 of pentacles. 5 of pentacles is really focused on rock bottom, getting to the low of lows. 4 of trees, there's some greed, there's some jealousy. Not the best person, basically. 4 of birds, you end up taking a break. Calling it quits, saying peace out. Like, enough is enough, eventually. 9 of lotuses is basically magical. That's the feeling. In other decks, they call it the happiness card or the wish card. So, wonderful person. I am curious about the 10 of embers. This would normally be 10 of wands. And this deals with a certain sense of accomplishment, but also a bit of a transition. And with Cosmo just being the special deck it is, I just want to double check for that. So let me check the romantic and the 10 of embers. And if you've got any questions about any of that so far, go ahead and ask those questions. And I'll try to clarify. Let's start with romantic. So Knight of Cups, Knight of Chalices. Following the heart, idealist, romantic. Those are the keywords associated with it. Yeah. Not a bad person, but can get a bit carried away. Which, I mean, that's fun and refreshing now and then, but not necessarily someone you want to be within reality sometimes. That's the thing. I don't know how long these are. I really only got the gaps here. So this start point being about 4 to 12 months. I don't know how long this is, but then couple years, and then this one starts. And then I don't know how long this is. This is a definite point in time, a fixed point in time, if you want to reference Doctor Who. So this doesn't get any farther away, no matter how long it takes to get through this. Does that clarify it? This one, like, I don't know why you're in this relationship, honestly. And frankly, yeah, I don't know why it would take a while to get out of it. But yeah, this one, not great. This one's fine. This is good. You've got a good person that you're working with. It's just not necessarily the right person for you. So as far as like quality of the person, you've got good in both of these places. This one's going to be well, rough. Oh, and you can't see the Ten of Embers. Let me see if I can get that blur away. And I guess, okay, I realized I still need to double check Ten of Embers for the outcome and how that goes. So let me get that real quick, and then we can do um, the cards. Between 9 and 10. Accomplishment, responsibility, burden. We talked about that. Um, okay. Because, yeah, all the stuff we said about the Ten of Embers, still consistent here. Um, Frankly, this does feel like a potential transition into marriage. Um, and this will probably be more relevant to being a father, but some of it will happen just by becoming a husband. So um, there is a very good chance, and I don't know how you feel about marriage and that institution, um, but this seems like it would be very serious and very long term. Um, so that done. About cards, when I first started, it basically was random off the top. And over time, as I developed the intuition about the cards, um, there's also the card picking started happening. Um, and like, I understand random being more certain, I guess, in a sense. Um, but unless you think they've memorized the cards in some way and they're picking them, um, I don't think they're any more predisposed than doing it by intuition versus random. The thing with intuition, I feel like it is easier to get the right cards, um, and like even nowadays, I've got a personal running theory that it's easier for the cards they want to get placed in the middle or the bottom than on the top. It's very rare these days. Like it's happened once in the past half year or so, where I've actually got cards off the top. Uh, so that's just my theory and my thoughts on that so far. And I'll go ahead and clean up. um, Not for every user. I mean, um, and I guess they would be the current. Um, some of them are totally fine with the intuition, but I do agree some um, would feel slighted or suspicious um, of the intuition approach. I do agree with you there. Okay. I don't know that I have much more to say to that. I just do my best. So, well, and I hope if you do get into such a relationship that you would get out of it pretty fast as well. Um, agree. That's really the thing. And yeah, yep. And I guess the only thing I would say to clarify the second person is like those traits might not be obvious, but I think even you can understand that. So, right. I know. And I appreciate the time you put into clarifying that with me. Because some people will just give their 2 cents and then run off. So it is nice to have a fuller discussion. Okay, well, I think we'll call that for today. It was a bit last second just because I didn't know what I was doing with this session. Same. Have a good one. um, anybody who comes late and misses out on a reading, we'll have this session again Friday and next Wednesday and so on and so forth. Um, so, yeah, hope you're doing great. Have a wonderful week. And until next time, take care.